Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. It's over. It's over. Cleveland is a city of champions once again. The Cavaliers are NBA champions.
That sound means it's time for Cavs on the Break NBA podcast, part of the Press Play Podcast Network. I'm your host, Chase Smith, and with me, as always, he covers the Cleveland Cavaliers for Sports Illustrated. You can catch his work over at si.com/NBA/Cavaliers. Sam Amico. Sam, what's up, man?
Oh, not much. We're 3 games in. It's going fast already. There's only 79 left. It's a lot of fun so far, too.
Sam, who's going to win more games in October, the Cavs or the Browns? I need to know.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Cavs or the Warriors. How many games the Browns have left in October? Or how many they've won 0 in October?
They have won 0 in October. Well, actually they've won 0 in October. So the Cavs have won more games in October than the Browns.
And they will. And guess what? John Beilein won a home game before Freddie Kitchens.
That is also true.
Very true. Sadly true.
Yeah. All right. Well,
the schedule gets easier for the Browns, though.
Sure.
Been saying that all year. But anyway.
Right. I want to talk about a couple things tonight. Week 1 slate is in the books. The Cavs dipped their toes into week 2. Let's talk about that a little bit. The Cavs are sitting at 1-2. Had a really impressive win at home against the Pacers. But this is what we've seen so far. They lost the season opener to the Magic in Orlando. Maybe a couple surprises there we'll talk about in a few moments. They won their home opener at the Rock. Coach Beilein's first victory over an impressive win over the Pacers, and they just lost another road game tonight against the Bucks. Sam, what have you liked the first 3 games that you've seen?
First and foremost, the product has been much better than I ever expected it would be at this point. I think that they've been competitive. They play hard. They play with determination. They seem to enjoy the underdog role. They're playing like a team that it's like, hey, we're not supposed to be very good, so we've got nothing to lose. And the thing I liked both in Orlando and Milwaukee, and I know the score in Milwaukee was 17 points, and score wise it seems like a blowout, but both of those games, teams that are supposed to be bad, like the Cavs, are supposed to be generally on the road when they get down by 20 or so, or 16, 17, tend to roll over and die and just say, you know what, this is just our lot in life and nobody expects more from us. The Cavs did not do that. They cut it against Milwaukee. They had a 16-point deficit down to 5 in the fourth quarter. And against Orlando, it seemed like they were dead in the water, and then they kept coming back. So, those aren't, you don't build your season around these moral things that are kind of rah-rah. But at the same time, they have put a product on the floor, surprisingly, I think, to a lot of people, that is giving people, their fans a reason to watch. This is a team you can get behind because they've played so far a brand that has not been a brand where you're feeling defeated and acting defeated, but you're acting like you want to pull some surprises. So I think that there's a lot to be said for the Cavs so far in these first 3 games. And then, really that game against Indiana at home was pretty much a blowout. The Cavs just, after that first quarter, basically ran them off the court. So I think they're having a lot of fun right now.
If you would have told me that in Milwaukee, Cavs would hold Giannis to 14 points, 5 of 15 field goals, 8 free throws, 10 boards, and 7 assists, I would say I'll take that all day, every day. I feel like the Cavs would be competitive in that game. Sam, that touches on a topic that I've noticed the first 3 games. The Cavs defense is vastly improved. This is the best defense I've seen the Cavs play in a couple years, to be honest. Like team defense.
Absolutely. They had against Milwaukee, the first 2 games, they didn't give up 100 points, which in today's NBA is a tall order, especially with all the 3-pointers being taken. They have some lapses against Milwaukee. There were times where they didn't get back They didn't get back in transition defense nearly. They were just too slow doing that. But overall, it's been, and you do that against the Bucks, and you're going to be in trouble because they have so many ways to score. But overall, they have been doing a very nice job, much better than anticipated job defensively. And as you said, Larry Nance Jr. and Tristan Thompson were both spectacular, very good on Giannis, frustrating him and forcing him to kick the ball off to their shooters, and really did the best job I've seen in a long time. Anybody containing him, and that's the nice thing about the Cavs is. Larry Nance Jr. super athletic and strong and knows the game. Tristan Thompson has been, while not a great rim protector, is a good position defender and really is very determined in that area. So if your best player is a big man, you're gonna go up against those two guys, and maybe when John Henson gets back, they'll have a legit rim protector. But I think that those two guys, Larry Nance Jr. and Tristan, have both been doing a nice job defensively. Tristan's been great. Through 3 games, he's their best player. He's the most reliable, best player. He's grabbing a lot of rebounds. He's scoring more. He's much more comfortable with the ball.
We'll talk about Tristan here in a little bit. We'll talk about.
Okay. I was just going to say, I think fans are more comfortable when Tristan has the ball. That's the big change.
Sure. Going into tonight's game, Cavs were ranked 5th in defensive team efficiency, which is a breath of fresh air. Sam, I would attribute that to maybe a little more defensively focused coaching staff. I know Beeline isn't a defensive genius, but I think he's surrounded himself with coaches that really know how to play the game of basketball. Cavs, looking here at my notes, 7th in rebounds per game, which I think goes hand in hand with defense. Kevin Love, Tristan Thompson, a great job on the boards. Larry Nance Jr. But one area of concern, Sam, I think over these first 3 games, it seems that small shifty guards are giving Cavs problems. Fultz seemed to be this huge momentum guy for the Magic. Brogdon destroyed them. He had, I think, 30 points for the Pacers.
Yep.
And then tonight, it seemed like Middleton was able to kind of create some offense.
Well, George Hill gave him all kinds of problems too. And then this Connaughton guy, Pat Connaughton, who's, not a bad player, pretty decent athlete, was just knocking down threes. He really had his way with Kevin Porter Jr. And in the first half, that was the difference. The game was even other than, and you can't fault Kevin Porter Jr. I mean, he's a rookie.
Yeah.
So,
the dreaded George Hill revenge game, the one that we all feared, it finally happened.
Kyle Korver hit a couple of threes in there too. So yeah, former Cavs veterans came back to haunt him a little bit.
Is this guard trend something you are attributing to just a young front court for us, or do you feel that that's going to be remedied because of our coaching?
Well, first of all, you're right. I do think, one thing I will say about the defense is John Beilein has, he takes pride in adapting to different situations, and he knew coming in this team's defense was going to be the priority, because they weren't going to beat anybody if they didn't play hard defensively, and they weren't going to be in games if they didn't play hard defensively. They just don't have enough offensive firepower to match up with other teams, at least the really good ones. So
I meant the backcourt.
Yeah, you said front court, but you meant backcourt. Yeah, I would say that's an issue. Look, Garland and Sexton are still learning the NBA game, what they can get away with defensively. You don't always have to play a guy straight up. You can kind of scratch and claw and get away with it, and that helps slow guys down. Garland doesn't know, that yet. Sexton probably doesn't know that yet. Both of them, frankly, neither one of them has been good defensively, and that's part of the problem. But at the same time, there are times that they do well enough, and I think that they're going to be okay eventually. It's just, look, a lot of great small guards aren't real good defensively. Kyrie Irving's not that great defensively.
Trae Young, not good defensively.
Steph Curry, he's not good defensively, so I'm not using that as an excuse, but I'm saying that you want to be serviceable, and neither one of their guards are to that point yet. They're Sexton and Garland, but one's 20, one's 19. There's still plenty of time in that department, and overall they are playing well defensively within the team concept, and it's more than just one guy locking down another guy. You have to know when to rotate, when to get back on your guy, when to step in passing lanes, and they're still learning all those things. But they've been doing okay, the Cavs, as a unit defensively, and I really do chalk that up to coaching as well as the leadership of Tristan and Kevin Love, knowing, having been in these situations before.
Looking at the state of the backcourt in the East, you have Kemba with the Celtics, Kyrie with the Nets, even in Toronto, Van Vliet. And I think really with Toronto in the finals, I think his defense really kind of helped. He was a huge cog in their championship run. And so I think if the Cavs are looking to take these leaps in the future, like that's one thing they're going to have to do. Trae Young in Atlanta, having an argument for being one of the best guards in the East. I mean, he's having an incredible start of the year. Bradley Beal for the Wizards. So that's what Garland and Sexton are up against. All of these already all-stars. They have quite a way to go. Sam, I want to talk about the team concept. There was a video with Beeline getting his first win. The team seemed really, really close. Pouring water on him in the locker room, everyone jumping around. Do you feel this team has chemistry kind of really early in the season?
Yeah, I think what Larry Nance Jr. said after the Milwaukee game really spoke to that, when he said, hey, we saw where everybody picked us.
Yeah.
We know, and we're very confident in spite of that, and we're playing with a chip on our shoulder because of it. So we know what people think of us, and we know people, they hear that, ESPN or the big sites like Sports Illustrated all pick them to, not finish well or not do very well and kind of be one of, everybody's homecoming game. But they're out to, they're very tight knit because of that. And it's funny, I did talk to Mark Price about this, and he said, when you're picked to be last like that, you may not have the talent, but those are things that in pro sports you rally around.
Sure.
Sometimes you let it just kill you, but other times you can use it with the right coach in place to rally around that. And maybe John Beeline is that guy, because they are, honestly, the guy spent how many, 40 years in the college game. The Cavs remind me of a college team right now. They have that type of unity. They have that type of kind of trust and belief in each other. And what's funny is it's kind of taken Kevin Love and Tristan a little while to buy into all this rah stuff, because you're a seasoned pro and these things are done differently in the NBA.
Yeah.
But they both love it, and it's funny to see them both like, okay, we're not going to be quite as rah, but we are very much about the team and love this whole team concept thing. And so it's been cool to see.
Well, hopefully they remember their 82 games, and that these veteran players, Della Devova, can kind of help, maybe help them extend and not get so tired and worn out. Sam, I want to introduce a new segment this season we're going to do every now and then called How Does This End? All right. Sometimes I'll give you a player name. Sometimes I'll give you a record. Sometimes I'll give you just a scenario, and you tell me how this ends. All right.
I'll do my best.
Put on your Nostradamus hat. The Swami says, how does this end? How does Tristan Thompson's career end in Cleveland? How does this end? Because I have an idea. I want to hear what you think. How does this end?
Well, I can tell you this. I went into this year thinking without question he's going to get traded. Mm-hmm. I just thought he's got an expiring contract. They're going to be really bad, and he's going to get traded. He wouldn't be part of the future. I'm still 60-40 in that direction in the fact that he'll get traded. because he's playing so well that somebody's really going to want him. And, that's good for the Cavs. If they do get an offer, they can't refuse. But I also think now there is a chance, and I know Tristan would be okay with this. I think that there's a chance that they could re-sign him at the end of the year. I really do. Obviously it's very early. We don't know what's going to happen between now and then. But just starting to think, you know what? You don't have to trade him. You can keep him. He's 28. You need veterans. Every team needs veterans. He's obviously been a good soldier throughout this. Having been on a losing Cavs team, then winning with LeBron, now back to the losing. He's been a great leader in terms of just having his voice. He's far and away the best guy, and there are a lot of good guys, but he is always great to talk to, interview. I hate to say he's far and away the best guy to interview because that makes it sound like everybody else is lousy, but he is a great interview, a great guy to talk to. Always friendly, always, upbeat, positive, tells it like it is. So I'm rethinking that whole thing. So to answer your question, I'm sorry, I won't take this long on all my answers.
No, it's fine.
I think 60-40 Tristan gets traded, but I think that there's a 30-40% chance that he plays out the season and it works out and they re-sign him.
He's played so well, Sam, in these first 3 games. I've gotten really possessive and, selfish with Tristan, and I wish I want him to stay. But, man, I'm getting visions and flashes of him in gold and purple. And it's not like him playing this well and saying all the right things and, being the rah-rah, jumping, waving a towel. Like that's like, I want that Tristan in Cleveland. I do. And I get flashes and visions and cold sweats of him being in LA with Bron.
I could tell you, I think if he gets traded, it won't be there. I think he will, because the only reason I say that is because I don't think the Lakers, they don't have any picks.
Yeah, they don't have
any, and what else do they have that you would want other than Kuzma?
Yep.
So I think that I will say that Kobe Altman does talk to the Lakers, it seems like, quite a bit. Obviously, they've already made a couple trades. And he also, though, talks to Daryl Morey from Medina Highland, the Rockets general manager, quite a bit. I mean, they, when they had JR, they almost traded JR to the Rockets. They came really close to trading Iman Shumpert there a couple years ago. And I think Tristan would be obviously a fantastic fit there as a guy who gets the offensive rebound and hands it to Harden and Westbrook and plays defense, the kind of guy that would be perfect off their bench. So, it's hard to predict where he might go if he does get traded, but I hear what you're saying.
How does this end, kind of keeping on the same avenue here? Brandon Knight, he flashed in the preseason. Everyone was writing these articles, all praises. We can't wait to see him on the court, and he hasn't seen a lot of game time. How does this end with Brandon Knight?
I think he's going to get traded at some point. Obviously, you're not going to get a whole lot for him. What you hope to get is second-round picks that you turn into a first-rounder, or you utilize in another trade. And that's how that'll end. I don't, nothing against him. He just obviously doesn't have a role yet. And John Beilein talked about Brandon Knight a little bit and said, look, he's got to be ready. Obviously, everybody needs to be ready. You never know. This is a league that 82 games long. Somebody's probably going to get hurt at some point, whether it's Delhi or whoever, and he's got to be ready, and it would serve him and obviously serve Brandon Knight well individually if he plays as well as he can when he gets an opportunity. But yeah, he's going to get traded is how that's going to end.
All right, Sam, how does this end? The Cavs home arena is called the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. I've seen someone call it the Romo Fiho trying to get that going. Is it The Rock? How does this end? What are people calling it?
The Rock, as far as I'm concerned, it's already over. I mean, I've seen other people call it other things, but I mean, I really don't see how you can call it anything else. Really, it just rolls off the tongue, The Rock, and it sounds like a place you don't want to go to play a game, right? I mean, it's even more intense than the Q.
Oh yeah, the Q is real intense. Well, I can tell how this segment will end. It's over. Sam, you survived the first.
It's a good prediction.
How will this end segment? Great work. Hey, last bit here, and then we're done. The upcoming slate, we have at the Rock, second home game on Wednesday the 30th. The Chicago Bulls come to town. Friday, November 1, we're at Bankers Life Fieldhouse in Indiana playing the Pacers once again. And then Sunday kind of starts slate 3, November 3rd, at the Rock one more time, hosting Luka, the Zinger, and the Mavs. 2 of the next 3 games are at home. What are you expecting, Sam? The Cavs the next 3 games.
Well, you want to win your home games if you're this team. Depending on what your long-term goals are, but for right now, you want to win your home games, and especially against teams like the Bulls, which are in a very similar spot. They've got some, they're a young team that's trying to be up and coming. They're athletic. They've got some real talent with Levine and Lauri Markkanen and Wendell Carter Jr. And I like Kobe White, the guy out of North Carolina they drafted. So, you want to beat those teams at home and take care of the business at home. Indiana, I believe, is 0-3. I think they lost to the Pistons again tonight, Monday night. So that's going to be hard. They're going to win eventually. They're not that bad. They're just not playing that well right now. So going into their place after you beat them at yours a week earlier, it's going to be a tall order. And Dallas will be a tall order, now with Porzingis, you add him to Doncic. That's tough. They're very well coached. Rick Carlisle has been there forever. So, what you want to do right now if you're the Cavs is focus. You want to play well on the road, give yourself a chance on the road, but you want to get those home games against the sub 500 teams that are supposed to be sub 500, like Chicago, and teams that are hovering around 500. Ideally in the end, like the Mavericks. So those are the teams you want to beat at home. Take care of business at home, steal one on the road, and that's really what you're looking to do. And this is a good opportunity to see if they can do that.
I think the home game Wednesday against the Bulls really is a great barometer for where do we stand right now. Kind of 2 young teams going at it, and I'm anxious to see how the Cavs respond. I think that's probably their most winnable game. And I think really could set the tone really for the rest of the season. Are we going to be fighting around 500, just below? I know that could be even a tall challenge, just asking for that. But if you don't win this game, then you start looking for wins, and you're like, oh man, you have to win home games against teams like the Bulls if you want to make progress. So a huge game coming up on Wednesday at the Rock. Sam, are you going?
I'm going to all 41 unless
I'm talking about, baby.
But I'll tell you a little story. What my son said to me the other day. He said, "So he's getting older now, and he's starting to realize these things." He said, "You get to go to every game for free." And I said, not only do I go for free, but they're paying me to go. And not only that, think about this. If I don't go, I probably would get in trouble. So yeah, I'll be there. But
now you're just rubbing it in. We get it.
I want to make sure that everybody knows how cool I am, which isn't really cool at all, but I like to pretend.
By the way, you can find Sam on Amazon. He just wrote a book to add to his coolness. So just Amazon his name, and you can't Amazon everyone's name, Sam. You can't do that. That's cool.
Yeah, that's it's funny because of the new position at Sports Illustrated. I was walking out of the Cavs practice facility on the day my book was being released, and I hadn't even given it a thought. Any other year, I would have been promoting it, going crazy. Sure. Hey, I got a book coming out today. Hadn't even given it a thought because there's just so much going on with the Cavs and covering them. And then, of course, me moving from Amico Hoops, which is still active, but me covering the Cavs for Sports Illustrated really has kind of taken on a life of its own, and it's been a great blast. It's been a blast, but there's a lot to take in at once, and totally forgot there was a book out. So thanks for reminding me.
Yeah. So as we wrap up here, tell us about your book. Where can we find it? What is it? And tell us about it.
Well, like I said, it hasn't been selling real well yet in Ohio. I hope that the Cavaliers fans listening to this podcast might change that.
Yeah, because we haven't released a podcast since you released the book, Sam. That's right. It's waiting for this show.
Right. Yeah. Well, but it's done well the first week nationally. In bookstores, other parts of the country, because it's not a Cavs focused book. It's a trivia book. It has 600 trivia questions on various topics. I do write an introductory chapter to each, segment of trivia, whether it be on the ABA, the NBA, old school NBA, modern NBA. There's some stuff there in the college game. So it's really kind of it's almost like an encyclopedia, sure. But it gives fans an opportunity to show how much they know. We obviously have the answers in the book on different pages, and the sales on Kindle have been electronic devices have been really well. So it's done surprisingly well so far, but we just need to pick up the sales in Ohio. I mean, because I had a lot of fun writing it. And it's not just like trivia that you're going to be able to Google, because believe me, when I wrote it, I started to try to Google it, and the editor was like, no, that's too easy. Mm-hmm. We can't have stuff that they can just put the book down and look up on Google. It has to be stuff that they really, really got to go, 7 or 8 different places to find the answer. So it's pretty unique trivia. So, I know books today aren't as cool as they used to be, but I think that this is something that if you just take some time with it and relax with it, it's a lot of fun. I know I had a lot of fun writing it, and hopefully people will enjoy it as well. And if you want, send me a copy of the book if you buy it, and I'll pay for the postage and autograph it and send it back. So,
hey, there you go. Christmas is right around the corner. What better way whether to stick it in a stocking or maybe a gift exchange, buy one, buy two, keep one, give to someone else. Maybe you have a couple bathrooms, buy one for each bathroom. Hey,
there you go.
Every person in your house, a basketball genius. Thanks to Sam.
We have one in every bathroom in our house. I can tell you that much.
I mean, what's the name of the book?
The book is The Ultimate Basketball Trivia Book. 600 questions for the super fan.
Boom. Check it out on Amazon. I got a couple copies, Sam. I can't wait to have you sign them. Maybe have you sign every page. I don't know.
I don't think you want to go that far. It's already signed on every page with my musings.
That is true. That does it for this episode of Cavs on the Break NBA podcast. Thank you all so much for downloading and listening. Shouts to the Press Play Podcast Network for making all this possible. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Cavs on the Break. We always follow back. Make sure to follow Sam on Twitter at Sam Amico. Is that right?
At Amico Hoops.
Oh, it's still at Amico Hoops.
Yeah. Yep. That's not going to change.
Okay.
I'm still. I think there's a lot of people out there who don't even know my first name. They just say they'll point to me and say, "Hey, it's Amico Hoops."
There you go. At Amico Hoops. Catch all of his work on writings at si.com. That is so cool to say, dude. si.com. Yeah. For all news, insider info, interviews, and more. Do not miss out. Sam, any final thoughts, brother?
No, I just hope, for the sake of the fans, that the Cavs keep this going, because it's been surprisingly enjoyable to watch, and like I said earlier, they are a team that right now you can get behind and kind of say, hey, I'm happy to be a fan of this team.
It's great. All right, well, Sam, we'll see you soon. Mike Breen, take us out.
Congratulations, Cleveland. Your decades-long wait is finally over. The Cavaliers are NBA champions.